Dave Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It's November 17th. These are your headlines. At last check, there were still bluefins south of the windmills. You still got a shot at finding a big striped bass in Massachusetts. And big togs seem to be everywhere between Connecticut and Rhode Island. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
So, here we are on the Shettucket River in Connecticut. That's Rowan and Lytle behind me, flipping flies out there. We're out here looking for salmon, and he got one, I got none, but the light's getting low, so I got to shoot the video here. I'm going to start things off with a couple news items here. The first one is kind of a bonus headline, and that is that the state of Rhode Island stocked, I think it was 8 or 10 ponds with Sebago salmon last week, and we'll put a little list on the screen here for you guys so you can see if there's one in your town. But I headed out to one of the ones that was near my house on Friday last week, and let me tell you, they are not hard to catch. I think I got 5 of them in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. A couple things I could pass along that might help you catch one of your own is they definitely were reacting to faster moving baits, and I was getting them on a little Ron Z. That was the ticket for me. But there was a lady there. She was trying to get one on power bait. They wouldn't touch that, and there was a lot of them around. I told her to switch over to something that moved a little bit more quickly. She put on one of those old Al's goldfish things, and she hooked up with 2 of them in short order. So definitely want to give it. Definitely want to fish some speed. Of course, that could change as they settle in, but fast-moving stuff was definitely working best for me the other day there. Other headline, of course, is the giveaway, which is ongoing, and got a couple entries this week. It wasn't a crazy week for entries, but you get them into me at danderson@thefisherman.com or text them to the number on the screen. And I've got a Goo Man pikey and a Yozuri hydro twitch bait to give away. Just get them into me. It doesn't matter what species it is. It doesn't matter freshwater, saltwater, or if you caught it on vacation. Just get them into me. I'll pick my favorite, and this one's going to run until December 22nd, so it's going to be a little bit of a holiday giveaway. So get those in, and we'll crown a winner.
And now for the Fisherman's Dreamboat Challenge standings as of November 17th. We are just 14 days away from the dramatic conclusion. We start out with a new Tautog first place entry by Bill DaCosta of Massapequa, New York. His 13.65 pound beast combined with his previous 5th place fluke entry gives him 16 points and gets Bill a spot on the standings board, pushing Dean Paella off the board. First place contestant Sam Dibner now has 42 points. Second place contestant Rob Carazano has 23 points. And third place contestant Garrett Weir has 19 points. We also confirmed the October Fish of the Month, which is bluefish. Sam Dibner's 16.75 pound blue dog clinches the October prizes. Stay tuned. Who will win? Will the standings change? Come back next week for another update. And for the Coastal Kayak Clash, there are no new entries, so it's still Justin Oster in first, Bob Wagner in second, and Tom Howd in third.
We're going to start things off now in Massachusetts, as we always do, and I was texting with James this morning before he sent his video over, and he said there's still stripers north of Boston. So if if you're living in that area and you're kind of wondering if it's worth it, sounds like it might still be worth it. But for a deeper rundown on what's going on up there, let's toss it over now to the man himself. Here's James Jewkes.
Up here on Plum Island, things have really kind of tapered off and slowed down. Still some fish out there. Guys are still finding some here or there. Majority of them have moved south of us. Still plenty of bait out front on the ocean front. I've scaled down some of my equipment to maybe find the last few schoolies and maybe make a trip or 2 south before I call it quits. But the guys north of me have really seen a downturn. I was out over the weekend, took a few skunks, which is okay. This time of the year, anything's a bonus to be outside. But guys south of me, still finding some good fish. A few of them down on the South Shore also, I heard. still had some slots going on. As far as the freshwater up here, that's still cooking along. I've made a couple of stops and got myself some largemouth and smallies, and I know a couple of guys got onto some white perch and some other species. So hey, weather's still fine to me. I'm waiting for the ice. That's all for now, Dave.
Now, as far as what's going on from there, heading down south toward the canal, not a lot has changed. You still got a shot at tuna if you got the stomach for it. It's been pretty rough this week, so not a lot of guys have been out there. I know that the guys from Black Rose Charters, they kind of wrapped it up this week, so that should give you a little bit of an idea of, you know, what the waters are like out there. But if you get the right day, there's still tuna out there. They still can be caught. Also, the haddock and pollock fishery is still ongoing. You can hop on any one of those party boats that runs out of Gloucester or Boston or Green Harbor and get on that bite. Heading down toward the canal, still stripers out there. And I would say your best shot is going to be to get closer to the canal. So Ellisville to the canal, and then from the canal out to like Sandy Neck. Those are your best shots right now. Most of the fish are going to be small, but there are still stripers there, and you have a legitimate shot at still getting a decent fish. Out on the Cape proper, not hearing a lot as far as saltwater fishing goes, but on the freshwater end of things, the freshwater fish has been very good. Trout stocking is done, and there's guys are crushing them out there with just about every pond that you can think of that gets stocked is producing fish. And guys are getting them on lures and baits, so that's a great option if you're on the Cape or if you're just looking to get the rod bent. Also, the largemouth bass and the smallmouth bass fishing has been awesome. It's been a really mild November up until right about now, and that has kind of extended October. We've got more of an October-like fishery going on right now that, of course, is probably going to change as we have a whole bunch of nights in a row now here where it's going to get down close to freezing or below. So that'll change things a little bit, but the jerkbait bite, the jig bite, the Ned rig bite should all still be very good for anyone looking to catch bass. Striper wise, other than outside the canal, the other places, you know, still along those Falmouth beaches is probably going to be your second best bet. And most of these fish now are going to be schoolies. Believe it or not, there were still albies at the vineyard as recently as Thursday, actually as recently as Sunday. So it's anyone's guess as to how long they're going to stay. I have a feeling with this little blow up that we had over the last couple days, I have a feeling those fish are going to head offshore. Might still be some bonito around though if you're going to be on the vineyard. Inside Buzzards Bay, there are still some large stripers. You may follow the same guy that I do. He calls himself Blindcast on Instagram. He got a really nice fish. I think it was 2 nights ago, and I don't know how big it was, but you can tell by this shot that's a big fish. Anyone who's caught a decent number of big stripers knows that that's a hefty fish. So you know, really, it's up to you at this point. As long if you've got it in you to push yourself to go out in the cold, you still got a good shot at getting a big striper. Inside the canal, the fishing has slowed down considerably, but there are still fish going through, and most of these fish are on the smaller side. I haven't heard of any slot fish from the canal in the last few days, but I wouldn't doubt for a second if somebody gets one, or even a bigger one. Especially with the new moon coming in, that'll probably signal the end, but you can never really count the canal out until everywhere else is dead. Tog fishing out in Buzzards Bay has been phenomenal this week. Jason Colby sent me some pictures, and it just keeps on keeping on. That fishery just will not quit, and showing no signs of slowing. So if you're looking to get in on some more bottom fishing, I mean, Jason would be a good guy to call, or take your boat out into that region, into the western part of Buzzards Bay. You got a really good shot just fishing like 40 to 75 feet of water. And that's the story that I have for you guys in Massachusetts this week. Moving over into Rhode Island, tog fishing is really the king right now. Everybody's doing it, and everybody seems to be doing well. Talked to some guys that went out with John Lee. I'm sure he's going to talk about that in his video. I don't have it in hand yet, but they crushed it. You know, they had multiple double-digit fish that day, up to 13 pounds, and I won't spoil the ending. I'll let him tell the rest of it, but a lot of personal bests were caught on that day, and that's been a pretty common story among all the guys that are running charters or running their personal boats out of Rhode Island right now. When you have a day when you can get out there and it's, you know, not going to beat you to death, the fishing is really good. Guys are still getting them on jigs. Rigs are working just as well, and just a lot of big fish out there in that 50 to 75 foot range. So you know, that's definitely where I would be targeting. As I mentioned in the intro, still hearing about tuna south of the windmills. This little storm that we had could move them around. Hard to say. I'm not a tuna expert, so I won't even try to pontificate on that, but they were there, and chances are they will still be somewhere in that area if we ever get a fishable day again. Same thing on the east grounds. You know, we've got the codfish is really starting to pick up there. This blackfish is getting better out there, and there's lots of sea bass out there. So again, if we get a decent day, make a run out there, you're going to get a mixed bag and probably going to do pretty well. Moving back in toward the beach here, striped bass fishing in Rhode Island is still very good. There's no signs of it slowing down. We're seeing a lot more smaller fish right now, but you know, if there's big fish in Massachusetts, there's definitely big fish in Rhode. So don't quit just yet, and don't give up on the eastern end of Rhode Island either. I know South County gets all the press at this time of the year, and for good reason. It's a productive area and it's easy to fish, and you can cover a lot of beach, you know, just driving along. But the whole state's still producing fish right now, and no signs of that slowing down either. So now let's get the skinny from John Lee. Let's hear the story of the big tog and what's happened throughout the rest of the week.
Hey Dave, John Lee, JL Charters. This week it's been all blackfish. We've been getting out maybe 3 days a week, just kind of trying to get out between these blows. This week looks terrible, but the trips that have happened have been very good on big blackfish. I think we have 10, 11 fish over 10 pounds in the last 3 trips. So every trip we're getting big ones. So I've kind of shifted over, or the fish have shifted to me. I don't know what's going on, but we're getting good fish. I think everyone's getting good fish. So really the slot is now going to be a factor. You got to measure those fish. We're only allowed 1 each. Let the big ones go. You can go bigger on the hooks, 6-0 hooks, whole crabs, snafu rigs. This is the time of the year. We're kind of entering into it. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. And don't forget, as I mentioned in the news thing, in the news portion of the video, I should say, those Shetucket salmon are in Shetucket. Those Sebago salmon are in many ponds in the state right now, and they're just itching to be caught, so give them a shot. Over in Connecticut, for the second week in a row, guys I talked about the tog fishing just seeming to get better and better. So, you know, we had a couple weeks there where it was kind of in flux, and now these last 2 weeks it's been gangbusters. Guys doing very well on, you know, 6 to almost 10 pound fish. A few fish over 10 were taken. Eastern Sound seems to be the hot zone for the bigger fish, basically from the Rhode Island border heading out toward Niantic. But guys are still getting solid fish, you know, from southwest to 6 Mile and all the way out to the Western Sound as well. On the striper front, the best fishing in the state is kind of split. So it's either going to be between the Thames and the Connecticut River, with a strong emphasis on the mouth of the Connecticut River, or it's going to be way out west in Max's territory. But still strong run of fish in that like 20 to 30 inch range with a, you know, high probability of breaking 20 or even 30 pounds and possibility of going even bigger. Lots of bait around still, and water temps are still warm, still up around 60 in the Sound, so there's no reason to think that these bass are going to push out of there anytime soon. I've even seen some bluefish reports over the last couple days, so you know, if there's blues around, you know, anything can happen. There's still albies on the New York side of the Sound, and sounds like it's been pretty good. A lot of times when the water gets murky or cold, they kind of push over to that other side, so if you've still got the albie itch, you know, you may want to steam across the Sound or hop on the ferry to fish the beach. But still albies around, you know, mid-November, and closing in on Thanksgiving and there's still albies around, so that's kind of an interesting thing. For a little bit more on what's going on in the Connecticut River area now, let's toss it over to Captain Mike Roy from Real Cash Charters.
This week's fishing report. There's still plenty of fish around. The warmer weather in the early part of November has definitely extended the season a little bit longer. We're still finding plenty of topwater action, stripers and bluefish feeding on peanut bunker. Some good topwater blitzes still, which has been a lot of fun for light tackle. The blackfish bite is improving now that we have some cooler air temperature that's starting to bring the water temp down, and I think you're going to see more keeper blackfish coming in. You know, the biggest challenge is just the wind right now. It's supposed to be pretty windy the next few days, so we'll see if that probably will start to shift the fish around. But get out there, it's definitely last call, and catch some fish.
Heading west from the Connecticut River, hearing about a lot of good fishing around those major reefs, 6 Mile, Southwest, and Faulkner's, and some of the other ones in that area. One of the shops that covers that area very well is Black Hall Outfitters. Let's toss it over now to Matt Stone and hear what they've been seeing in that region.
What's up, guys? This is Matt here at Black Hall Westbrook with this week's fishing report. Tail end of the fall run kind of style right now. We do have some stripers still available, a lot of peanut bunkers still out there, sort of fueling some action. Outgoing tide has been the best for me for sure, and also those cloudy, rainy days that we tend to get in the fall with maybe a little bit of wind are definitely going to be your best days if you're still on the hunt for stripers. Still some decent slot size fish around, not as many as before, and we do have some kind of weather blowing through, but the water's still warm for this time of year. It's definitely on the warmer end from what you typically see in this time in November, so that is extending our fall run out there. So there's still some days that you can get out there and really have fun. It's not like you're at the point where you're scratching for a few bites yet. We'll be at that soon, but we're not there quite yet. As far as tog, I'm hearing a lot of shorts are being caught. I personally have had to fight through quite a few shorts, in order to get to those keeper tog. I've been fishing primarily between 15-25 feet, but I have heard guys doing a little bit better at that 20 to 40 foot range. So this time of year when that water does start to cool eventually, whenever that starts to happen in a continuous way, we should see those togs start to move a little bit deeper. So you'll want to get some heavier jigs, maybe up to the 1 3/4, 2 ounce, 2.5 ounce, 3 ounce weight to hold in that current, so that you can maintain bottom, or you're going to start using some of those rigs with some of the heavier weights on there. If you're out on some of the reefs with the stronger current, you'll get up into your 8, 9, 10 ounce weights with a little octopus hook off there. Definitely, if you're curious about how to tie one of those rigs up, there's plenty of videos online to help you out. We can also help you here in the shop in Westbrook too. So tail end, last few weeks, it's November. Enjoy them all, and we'll see you out there on the water.
And the two things that I'm hearing from like West Central Sound is still a lot of big bluefish around. Guys are getting it from the beach, guys are getting it from the boats. A lot of these fish are just relating to the schools of like those adolescent peanut bunker, you know, those 3.5 to 4.5, even 5-inch peanuts, just keeping those schools tight. So you can find those, you get a good shot of finding some big bluefish. And then the other thing is that the stripers are now starting to move into the hoosies. So most of the guys are fishing the mouth right now, but it won't be long before we start hearing some reports from up in the river that winter population is starting to move in, and you know, the anglers in that area are cashing in on that. And for a little bit on what's going on in the extreme western sound, let's toss it over now to Max Finch from Fisherman's World.
Striped bass fishing this past week has been nothing but exceptional. The bass are feeding along our beaches with all the peanut bunker now well on our sandy beaches and leaving the rivers and the estuaries. The hot spots have been off like Bridgeport, the mouth of the Housatonic, you know, the Norwalk Islands, Campo Beach, Sherwood Island area. And to our west, we've heard some really good feeds too. There's been bass off Captain's Island, down to City Island, and guys are really getting some nicer fish now on the diamond jigs. Diamond jigging like 11B, and then way to our west, Execution Rock, and to our east, Middle Ground. With herring, hopefully we see a good influx in them starting to come in this winter. That will drive some bigger fish, you know, the last of the bigger fish to stay out in the sound. Guys do really well diamond jigging these deep water spots. Along our beaches, throwing, you know, stuff like small super strike poppers, small spooks, small soft plastics. Albie snacks is always a popular one to throw. It really imitates a peanut bunker really well, and don't overlook your spoons. Blackfishing, we've seen some nice fish, but I feel like the bite is really starting to tend to a really good wreck bite right now. So guys that are getting on top of some wrecks in like that 40 to 60 feet, I've seen some really nice fish to like 8-9 pounds. Guys fishing shallow, they're getting some nice ones too, but you really got to pick through a lot of shorts. With all this cold weather, it should really get the blackfish, biting really good. We're gonna have, fully stocked of crabs all the way to the end of the month. Thanks and good luck.
And before we wrap this up, we're going to toss it over to Rowan Lytle, who's out there somewhere behind me, and we'll get a little report from him.
Hey everybody, definitely looks like this new cold pattern has settled in to stay. Luckily it's not frigid. I mean, we could have gotten a little bit of snow last night. Didn't look like anything accumulated here in Connecticut. It's definitely time to look into the backwaters. We're moving into early holdover season. The hickory shad are still around. One thing I really love to do at this time of year is big white perch. Now they start to push into a lot of the tidal rivers and estuaries, and you can generally find them in mud-bottomed, deeper channels. Fish live grass shrimp. That's one of the most effective ways to catch them if you want to get them on artificials. Very small hair jigs, soft plastics, and cast masters rolled real slow along the bottom are the best way to go. Now in freshwater, of course, we still got the broodstock salmon in Connecticut. That was a bit slow today, but it has its ups and downs. The water's up now. It'll probably drop. As it drops a bit, that should get good again. Good luck, everybody.
And that's what I have for you guys in the reports this week. Hope you're going to find them useful. Things are slowing down a little bit, but not as much as they normally would at this time of the year. That means there's no reason for you guys to toss in the towel or hang up the rods. Get out there, chase your favorite species. Most of them are still available, and things are looking pretty good out here. And if you're not a subscriber to the Fisherman, I highly recommend you heading over to the website and check it out. I mean, we got the holidays coming up real soon. Might be a good idea to drop a hint to the wife or the girlfriend, and see if she'll sign you up. It's the best $30 you can spend in fishing. I say that every week, and it's the truth. If you're not convinced, head over to the website. Fisherman.com. You'll see enough free content there to give you a full scope of what we offer. We cover everything from Delaware all the way up to Maine, all the different fisheries that you can think of: freshwater, saltwater, offshore, inshore, surf, paddleboard, doesn't matter. We cover it all, and I think we do it quite well. Plus, we got reports that cover that entire area, and you get access to all of that with your subscription. 12 issues sent to your house, another 26 that come to your email box every week during the season. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.